Hello, I am Taima Lewis, and this is my Math All Around Us Learning Center. So, first we have the standards. So, my two standards are NF1, which is understand a fraction as a number on a number line to represent fractions on a number line diagram. And my other one is NF2, which is comparing two fractions with different numerators and denominators. My cultural relevance. Each food based activity connects students with a variety of cultures, allowing them to explore fractions through familiar and exciting contexts. This promotes and enriches the understanding of the diverse world around them. The activities also provide an opportunity to learn about the cultural significance of the foods being explored. So first we have the Fraction Culture Cafe. So it will explore the concept of fractions through the lens of cultural foods and traditions, and it will give students a fun and engaging way to connect with math with their own experiences. Students will work with hands-on activities, collaborate with peers, and practice skills in a real-world context. So for the first hands-on mathematics activity, I have the fraction number line. So the objective of this is to represent fractions on a number line and understand their values related to other fractions. So the materials we will use will be a large piece of paper for the number lines. We will use markers, sticky notes with different fractions. For example, 1/2, 1/3, 3/4, scissors, a ruler, or a measuring tape. And what they would do for the steps would be students will work in pairs or small groups to create their own fraction number lines, making where fractions such as 1/2, 3/4, 5/8, and where they would go. They would cut out fraction cards and place them along the number line where they think the fraction belongs. So this activities helps with visualizing the size of fractions and understanding the relationship of each fraction. The next one will touch bases on the cultural relevance and also hands-on. So the objective for this one is to use cultural foods to teach equivalent fractions, adding fractions and comparing fractions. So the materials you would have is like print recipes from different cultures, such as tamales, sushi, crepes. We will use fraction cards. We will use measuring cups and spoons and paper plates or small containers for creating a simple dishes. So for the activity, what they would do is students would choose a recipe from the traditional diverse set, such as a Mexican recipe for tamales or an Italian recipe for pizza. Each recipe will have fractional ingredients, such as 1/2 cup of cornmeal or 1/3 cup of cheese. Students will use fraction cards to identify and represent these ingredients in fractional form, adding or comparing them as they measure out the ingredients. After completing their cooking, students will discuss the fractions involved and how they had to combine or adjust fractions to make the recipe work. Next is the food truck challenge. And for this one, they had to solve world problems using fractional operations. So the materials they have imaginary food menu cards for food trucks with the fractional prices for different foods. So they like $2 for 1/4 for a taco or $3 for a half of a burger. They will have play money, a set of problems involving adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. So if a customer was to buy two tacos, how much would that cost? And then for the activity, they will role play as customers and as food truck owners, creating and solving problems related to fractions. For example, they might calculate how much to charge a customer if they order multiple items or how to divide a pizza into equal portions based on the customer's request. This challenge requires students to engage with fractions in different operations, such as adding, subtracting, and multiplication, and reinforces their ability to math in real world situations. Next, we have assessments. So I have I have different assessments. So one would be for the fraction reflective journals. After each activity, students will write in their journals reflecting on what they learned about fractions, how they use them in activities, and any challenges they encounter. Students can assess journal entries for understanding of concepts like equivalent fractions, comparing fractions, and applying fractions in real world contexts. Two is exit tickets. At the end of each station, students will complete an exit ticket where they answer a short question or solve a problem involving fractions based on what they learned. An example exit ticket would be, what is 1/2 of 3/4? How do you know? These quick assessments provide insight into individual student progress and areas where additional support might be needed. Three, peer-to-peer assessment. So in the fraction food truck challenge, students will have the opportunity to access their peers' ability to solve fraction problems. They will do this by checking the accuracy of their partners' calculations and giving constructive feedback. This encourages collaborative learning and accountability. And the last assessment will be teacher observation. So throughout the activities, the teacher will circulate to observe the students' problem solving approaches, collaboration, and ability to explain their thinking. Teachers can use a rubric to assess students' engagement in discussion, application of fraction skills, and overall mastery of the standard. And last, the Math Center will emphasize hands-on learning, collaborative problem solving, and real-world applications of fractions. By integrating cultural, food, and engaging activities, students are not only learning about fractions, but also exploring how math connects to the world they live in, fostering deeper understanding and cultural appreciation. Thank you.